Good morning, YouTubers. Well, actually, it's sort of nighttime for me, but technically it's morning. It is 12:21 a.m., September 29th. The Astros actually play later today. In fact, in about 12 and a half hours, a little more than 12 and a half hours, the Astros will be playing in the playoffs. Be the first game. Like always, they never get a primetime nighttime game. They have to play the afternoon games. So a little foreshadowing there. They did make the playoffs. Would have been a miraculous collapse if they didn't. Really, they just need to rely. So when I talked to you last week here, as I start to get into things here, talked about the Mariners. Winning 2 of 3 would sort of get them in, clinch, and then it's sort of just, who cares what happens in that 4-game set against Texas. But that wasn't really actually what happened. They lost 2 of 3 to Seattle, which is sort of an embarrassment, I guess. But, one thing I didn't realize is that the Angels, when I talked to you on Sunday, were only a half game back of Seattle. So that came into play. In fact, we eliminated Seattle before we did the Angels. Finally clinched the second spot in the AL West after Friday, which a game the Astros lost to the Rangers. The Angels lost later that night to the Dodgers, which got us in. So the Astros, they just sort of backed themselves into the playoffs. They didn't really win their way in. In fact, they lost 5 of 7 this week. They won the middle game against Seattle, lost the first and the third game in that series, and then after winning on Thursday against the Rangers, they dropped Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's game. I don't know if they don't care or they're just that bad, to be honest with you, but 29 and 31, 29 up, 31 down. It's embarrassing almost to say that they're in the playoffs, being 2 games under 500. I believe the other team that did that is the Milwaukee Brewers. And I will give you sort of a postseason outlook, which I'll be learning along with y'all. If you're learning, you probably know more than I do, because I don't know necessarily what seeds what. All I know is the Astros play the Twins tomorrow at 1 p.m., Game 1, in Minneapolis. These games will be played in the top 4 seeds' home ballparks. The Division Series, Championship Series, and World Series will be at neutral sites. So I was also wrong there. Wrong about the Angels being half game back of Seattle, and wrong about the first round of playoffs here. So, yes. The Astros, I could go through this week, but I sort of want to set up the postseason. As bad as things have been this year, the season starts over tomorrow, and it's a best-of-3 series. They're in Minneapolis. They're playing the Twins. So I'm going to erase from my mind everything that's happened in the regular season, and we start over, okay? So that's how this works, and whether you like it or not, the Astros are in the playoffs. 4th straight year. I thought they'd win the division. I did not think Oakland would come out to as hot as a start as they did, and actually keep it up the way they did. So give Oakland credit. They were the better team. They were one of the better teams in all of the American League. They deserve to win the division. I believe the division winner in the AL East, which I predicted would be the Yankees, was not the Yankees. It was the Rays. The Rays were going to be as good as the Yankees. I mean, it was just, the Yankees did have a bit of a lull where they had like a 2-3 week stretch where they really couldn't win a whole lot of games. And the Rays were just good from the start to finish, basically. And then in the AL Central, of course, I did say the Twins. I did get that right. I believe I said when I made my postseason predictions, this was with 6 teams in mind, right? 6? Yeah, 6 teams. And obviously it got changed. So obviously you got the Yankees, you got the Rays, and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays also made it. They're a wild card team. And the other wild card team, I believe, is the White Sox. I believe they're the 7th seed. I believe the White Sox are the 7th seed and the Blue Jays are the 8th seed. But I will look at this in a minute. Just wanted to sort of set the stage here. I'm not going to go over last week's games. The Astros played terrible. The offense sort of broke out a little bit, I feel like, especially at first game in Texas where they scored 12 runs. But after that, it was just sort of much. Yeah, after they clinched, it was sort of what I expected. They just didn't really care. Weren't going to use, their big arms, things like that. Zach Greinke will start tomorrow's game 1, so that'll be interesting. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see the way Dusty Baker, how long of a leash he has on these guys. Zach Greinke. It'll be interesting to see altogether. I think Urquidy's going to get the game 2 start, I would say. I could be wrong. I'll look at it here in a few minutes. But, you sort of like Framber Valdez or Lance McCullers. Of course, if you're losing Lance McCullers, you're going to proceed with caution. Very short leash on him. But his last 2 road games, he's actually pitched okay, which was on Saturday, I believe. He only went like 4 innings, but it was scoreless innings. In the Seattle game on Monday, which is when I talked to you last, he did okay. So his last 2 road starts have been better. I don't think he gave up runs in any of them, to be honest with you. But again, I still, it's still a risky thing to throw Lance McCullers out there on the road. So, anyway, let's give you the correct standings and the updates and the matchups here. I'll start in the American League, of course. So yes, we play tomorrow at 1. It'll be Zach Greinke against Kenta Maeda. That will be game 1 for the Astros. I'd like to go to scores here. We have not yet determined our game 2 starter, which will be on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And then we have also not announced our starter for game 3 either. So we'll see. For the Twins, it'll be Kenta Maeda, Jose Barrios, and Michael Pineda, who don't necessarily scare me a ton. But again, we'll see here. So I wish they would just give me standings here instead of these brackets. Just give me the standings. I want to know what the standings are. Here we go. Okay. So yes, Tampa Bay is the 1 seed. And they will be playing the Toronto Blue Jays in their series. Tampa Bay went 40-20 this year. They were the best team by a pretty wide margin. Well, 4 games, I guess, when you consider the Twins. The Twins, yeah. Twins, yeah. Tampa Bay will play Toronto, the 2 seed, which is Oakland. Okay, I need to look at this now because now I'm confused. Yes, Oakland is the 2 seed. They're playing the White Sox, who were the first wild card team. The Blue Jays, like I said, are playing the Rays, and it'll be Yankees-Indians. That's an interesting series, the Yankees and the Indians, 5-4. Indians have home field advantage there, being the 2 seed there in the Central Division. So those are the matchups. Just to recap one more quick time, you got the Blue Jays at the Rays, 8-1. You have the White Sox at the Athletics, that's 7-2. You have the Astros at the Twins, that's 6-3. And you have the Yankees at the Indians, that's 5-4. Yeah, be interesting. In the NL, the 1 seed, that is the... Who's the Dodgers, of course, and they play the Brewers. The Brewers also finished 29-31, so the Brewers and the Astros were the only 2 teams to make the playoffs with under 500 records. But yeah, it'll be the Dodgers, the Brewers at the Dodgers, 8-1. It'll be the Braves, the 2 seed. We'll have the Reds at the Braves, 7-2, 2-7. You'll have the Marlins at the Cubs. Who would have thought the Marlins? But the Marlins are the 6th seed. At the Cubs, the 3 seed there. You'll have then the Cardinals at the Padres, 5-4 there. I would expect the Padres to win that pretty easily. The Padres are a team to watch out for in the NL. I think that they could give the Dodgers a run for their money, so we'll wait and see. But that's sort of how the standings shake out in the playoff series. These are all 3-game series. The winners will advance to the National League Division Series, and it'll be playoffs as usual. So you're eliminating that one-game play-in wildcard thing that they used to do. And the reason they added playoff teams is because of the 60-game season. Rob Manfred thought that with only 60 games, some of the teams, it takes them a while to get going. So adding a few more spots will give those teams that usually get off to late starts or second-half teams sort of a chance to get in. So it's a big bottle of water tonight. You see that right there? That's a Whole Foods bottle of water right there for 86 cents. But anyway, I won't get into that. The Astros, who I thought, when the playoff format was changed, and it was changed on opening night when the Yankees were playing the Nationals, first game of the year. When I heard about this, I was like, well, that only hurts the Astros because I expect them to win this division pretty easily, and the fact that they'll have to play a 3-game series, which any team can win any 3-game series. It's probably going to hurt them more than help them. But lo and behold, here you are at the end of the season, and the Astros needed this format just to get in. Like I said last week, if this was any other year, they'd be dead and buried and eliminated. So, and we'd have no postseason baseball for the first time since 2016. So, but anyway, sorry about that. But anyway, so I'm actually excited about this. I'm excited. I mean, I think the Astros, will. I think that the offense is healthy. Everybody's there. I mean, obviously Verlander. We talked about him having Tommy John. Osuna, who I heard from a coworker, hasn't had his Tommy John, and he's actually throwing. Not that he's available for this year. He's out for the year, obviously. But I mean, I feel like you gotta, like Greinke tomorrow, for instance, you gotta get 7 innings out of him, because I am not going to feel comfortable going to anybody in this bullpen except if it's Ryan Presley in the 9th inning. I'm not. And your setup guy in the 8th is probably most likely going to be Enoli Paredes, would be my guess. I know Andre Scrub had a good year. Blake Taylor, you can mix him in there. But, yeah, I think Paredes will get the shot. It'll be interesting to see sort of how Dusty Baker wants to maneuver, how long a leash he has on some of the starters, how short a leash he might have, and then who he chooses to go to in the bullpen. It's going to be interesting to see. But a 3-game series, you don't have time. I mean, tomorrow's game's important. I mean, you win the game 1, you're in the driver's seat. You got to win one of the next 2. And then whoever loses, of course, their back is up against the wall. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's playoff baseball. I feel like in a 162-game season, after about 180 to 100 games, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the postseason already. And it's here. And again, the record was 29-31. And I'm not going to dwell on that, although it seems like I have so far today. The season's over. Well, the regular season's over. And everybody's 0-0. Everybody is 0-0. So yes. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't tell you a whole lot. I know, Minnesota won their division, of course, like I predicted. They won 101 games last year, and they got swept by the Yankees in the playoffs. So they haven't had a lot of playoff success of late. But we'll see. Got Greinke. Maeda doesn't scare me really. I mean, I don't know how good a year he's had. Maybe he's had a better year than I've expected. And I'll learn a lot tomorrow. But now that it's playoff baseball, my full undivided attention is going to go to baseball. This year it's been different. I haven't been able to watch every single pitch, every single game. I have watched bits and pieces of games. But with basketball and football going on, I've sort of been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, with no coronavirus, really the months from June all the way through August is strictly baseball. I mean, there's a good 3+ month stretch of just strictly baseball. It wasn't like that with the coronavirus and basketball still going on, the finals starting, and now you're through 3 weeks of NFL football. So, a lot of things going on, but I will be fully into baseball here. So, we'll see. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. So, I mean, I am curious to see the lineup tomorrow, how it shakes out. Martin Maldonado had a scare in Friday's game. The last play was a throw to him as they were trying to cut down the run at home. It was an off-target throw. Didn't really see what happened, but he was shook up. He was hurt. He walked off fine. He was moving around in the clubhouse fine. I know Garneau played on Saturday. I can't really tell you what happened yesterday. I just know they lost. But I'll actually go back to that game to see who caught, because I'm curious. But it was Garneau for the second straight game. So hopefully Maldonado's good to go for tomorrow. So we'll see. But yeah, it'll be Greinke, and I think you gotta let Greinke go. You gotta let him. I mean, obviously if he's struggling, you gotta go get him. But if he's pitching fine and the Astros are in the game, I'm not gonna feel comfortable really going to a bunch of people in this bullpen. So I feel like you gotta ride Greinke, and you've rode Framber Valdez. I mean, you have no problem letting him go out there and throw 110 pitches. Obviously, you're not going to do that with McCullers back from the Tommy John. Urquidy's the other guy, but Urquidy, you can let him go too, because even though he came late and he was hurt, I mean, he's got 5 or 6 starts under his belt now, so he should be good to go. But the bullpen's going to scare me a little bit, because it's just losing Will Harris, and then obviously Osuna getting hurt scares me a little. Presley's been so-so in the back end, but like I said, you're going to have to ride or die with him, because he's your best you got. And then Paredes will probably get the 8th inning if we have the lead there. But we'll see how it shakes out. Hopefully the Astros shock the world here. I'm hoping they can flip a switch and get hot and win this sort of weird season World Series type thing. So, yeah. Shorter podcast because, I'm not going to go through all the games. I mean, I guess I could give you the score if you want the scores real quick, but, they lost on Sunday 8-4. Chase DeYoung got the start. He's been just a nightmare pretty much from the get-go. 0-1, 14.73 ERA, so yeah, he's terrible. You won't see him probably again. Obviously losing on Saturday 6-1. Again, Saturday and Sunday after Friday's game, it was really just we don't really care anymore. But Belak, I think, got the start and lost. I'm thinking Belak got the start. No, McCullers got the start on Saturday. 4 scoreless innings, struck out 9, walked 2, brought the ERA under 4. So how about that? But Belak came in, gave up 400 runs, and he's been pretty bad. Even Scrub came in, gave up 200 runs, brought the ERA up to 1.90. Cy Snead got an inning, 5.71. Overall, he's been a disappointment. We know that was Snead, so no surprises there. Losing on Friday. Who blew this in the bullpen? I almost want to say it's Paredes, and he got the loss in this game. I don't know why they do this. I can't. I'm not dealing with that. If stupid video that I never told to play plays. But anyway, so Paredes last time out wasn't very good. But anyway, so you had the day off today. Nobody played today. But yeah, I gave you sort of the matchups. It's only a 20-minute video. It's 12:41 a.m. So I should sort of be in bed right now, not asleep, but I usually watch stuff on my phone before I go to bed. Anyway, originally we're supposed to work tomorrow 11 to 4, which would have taken the Astros game just completely out of the picture for me. But I switched with somebody. So now I work at 6, although I haven't confirmed that with my boss yet. But it shouldn't be an issue. If I get a text tomorrow morning, as of now, I'm not going into work till 6 because that's what we've agreed on. My boss didn't respond to a text, so I don't know. Usually I like to confirm with him or her because I have 2 bosses really. But as of now, I'm not planning to go in until 6, so I should be able to watch the entire game, unless it goes to extra innings and it gets out of hand and things like that. But yeah. So and then on, I couldn't plan for these games. Because I didn't know the times, things like that. So and with my whole food schedule, I have to make my requests a month in advance. So obviously, on Wednesday, I go into work at 2. Astros play at 12, so I should be able to watch the majority, the first hour and 40 minutes of it or whatever it might be. But, yeah. And then Thursday, technically we're supposed to be working, but I haven't received a schedule, I don't think. And that would be back at the ballpark at Minute Maid Park, so I don't know. But as of now, I don't think I'm working on Thursday, so we'll see. But yeah, my full undivided attention really these next 3 days is going to be on baseball, and I'll be watching the Astros first and foremost, but I'll be watching all the games, so all of these games will be interesting to me, and it's playoff baseball, man. It's playoff baseball. Let's do it. Forget what happened in the regular season. Just be thankful that you're there and you got a chance. Yeah, big bottle of water there. Guess I'm just trying to fill time because we're at 22 and a half minutes, almost 23. And I really got nothing else to talk about. You got your 2 big injuries. We'll see with Maldonado. Not 100% sure there. But, again, your lineup's going to look like George Springer, Jose Altuve. They sort of go back and forth when it goes to 3 and 4 with Brantley and Bregman, I believe, 3-4 there. And then at 5, with your 5, 6. I'm trying to think here. So, Yuli's in there somewhere. Correa's in there somewhere. Gosh, it's tough thinking. Reddick, Maldonado. I'm trying to think who's been our DH for the majority of the year, and I can't think of. Obviously Jordan has been hurt, and he's out for the year. But they sort of mixed and matched the DH. I'd like to see Alemnis Diaz get some maybe a start at first, and give Yuli the DHing role or something like that. Because I don't know. Miles Straw's an interesting guy that you can put in the outfield if you want to give Springer a DH day. Oh, Kyle Tucker. That's who I'm forgetting. Kyle Tucker will be in that lineup, and he'll play. It'll be him or Reddick, or him or Brantley as the DH. Kyle Tucker should probably be the DH, but that's who I was forgetting. Tucker's basically your 5-6 hitter, and then you'll mix in Yuli and Correa, and then you'll have Maldonado, hopefully, and then you'll have the black hole that is Josh Reddick. Maldonado's been a better hitter than Josh Reddick this year. He'll be gone next year. You'll decide if you want Brantley or Springer. Already looking forward to next year here. But next time I talk to you, the season might be over. They might lose games 1 and 2, and This was just how the season was. Um, you know, you lose Verlander, you lose Osuna, you lose Alvarez. You played 60 games. What did you expect? I might be that guy next time I speak, or I might be exuberant because the Astros have moved on, and I feel like they got a chance. So it's just one of those things. Playoffs, you never know. But that's about all I can really give you. But it'll be interesting. Dusty Baker, my eye will be on his decision making. I'm not gonna. They signed Dusty Baker to an extension of 1 year after this year to coach next year, or manage, I should say. But I can't. I'm not going to roast him on any moves, frankly, because I haven't paid close attention to baseball. As much as it pains me to say, I have not paid huge, close attention to baseball. I will now. And obviously, I'm not going to agree with every move Dusty Baker's made this year, but I don't think any fan would. I thought we saw Cy Snead a little too much. We saw Josh James out of the bullpen a little too much. Brooks Raley, who's been okay, some outings not so great. Seen him a lot. Brooks Raley probably more than we should, but you sort of I mean it's tough. There's just been so many guys, so many different guys that have made their debuts, and it's been just Anyway, not that tired right now, but I will wrap things up there. I'll talk to you at some point, probably before the week is over, maybe Thursday, Friday, at the end of the series. So we'll finish this series before you hear from me again. But I'll wrap things up there. Let's go Astros. Excited about this. And we'll talk to you, hopefully, on a good note next time. So we'll wrap things up there at 27 minutes, and we'll see you then.